According to reports, ASAP Rocky faces up to 24 years in prison for the 2021 shooting of his former friend, ASAP REI. This drama has been going on for a little over 3 years, and for a while we thought that it would be swept under the rug and that he would get away with it. But not only did the case not get swept under the rug, it just went to trial, and it is not looking good for Rocky. However, the streets are claiming that his billionaire baby mama Rihanna is going to step in and save the day by settling out of. It's not surprising that fans believe Rihanna will pay to keep Rocky out of jail, because if he does, she would become a single mother of 2 children under the age of 3, which is something that no one wants to go through alone. To make matters worse, Rocky and Rihanna have repeatedly stated that they have very little help when it comes to taking care of their kids because they like to do it themselves. In an interview, by themselves you walk into the hospital as a couple and leave as a family of 3. It's nuts, and those first days are insane. You don't sleep at all, even if you wanted to. If Rocky goes to jail, Rihanna not only has to take care of 2 toddlers, but also has to juggle her billion-dollar empire, which is not child's play. It's easy to understand why she would desperately want him out of jail. But does she feel desperate enough to pay potentially millions of dollars to keep him out of jail? If you're wondering why the cost is so high, it's because the case is very serious. In 2021, Rocky and his former friend ASAP Rei got into a heated argument, and at one point, Rocky allegedly pulled out a gun and fired a few shots. The drama seems to have begun with a dispute between Rocky and ASAP Rei, who is also a member of the ASAP mob group. However, things quickly took a turn for the worse. No one knows exactly what caused the altercation, but whatever it was, it didn't last long. Threw hands, and if that wasn't crazy enough, Rocky allegedly escalated the situation by drawing a gun and firing several rounds. Although Rei wasn't seriously hurt, he was grazed and suffered minor injuries, and even though he left, the incident was severe enough to return and cause serious issues for Rocky. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, another lawyer shows up. R's attorneys assert that this wasn't a random altercation and that there had been animosity between them for some time. Rocky especially arranged a meeting with R that evening, persuading him to go to a remote location with the intention of resolving their differences, but instead of doing so, it descended into a major disorderly showdown. Unbeknownst to Mr. Efron, R's lawyers composed ASAP. Rock was not merely preparing a conversation and brought a semi-automatic. After arriving at the scene, a conversation broke out in which, without warning or provocation, Rocky quickly produced a handgun and purposefully fired multiple shots at Mr. Efron. If Rocky had truly planned this beforehand, everything would be different, and prosecutors could claim that this wasn't. The situation reached a peak in April 2022 when Rocky was arrested at Lax. The timing couldn't have been worse after months of investigation in 2021, when law enforcement decided to take action just as he and Rihanna landed in the United States after a vacation in Barbados. The Los Angeles Police Department's Robbery H Division detectives have made an arrest in connection with a robbery that occurred in the Hollywood area in April 2022, according to a statement released by the LAPD. At approximately 10:15 p.m. on December 6, 2021, a dispute between 2 acquaintances broke out in the Hollywood neighborhood near Selma Avenue and Argyle Avenue. The altercation turned violent, and the suspect shot the victim. The victim was slightly hurt and sought medical attention after the suspect and 2 other men left the scene on foot. Detectives continued their investigation and confirmed the information that had been reported, which assisted in identifying the suspects. The suspect, 33-year-old Rakim Myers, a resident of Los Angeles and well known as the musician ASAP Rocky, was apprehended by LAPD officers this morning for assault at the Los Angeles International Airport. The case will be sent to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office for consideration following Myers' arrests at LAX. Rocky returned home within hours after paying the $550,000 bond, but even though he avoided spending the night in jail, it was only the beginning of a much longer legal mess. By August 2022, the case had officially reached court, and Rocky had entered a not guilty plea to the charges. Since then, it has been one twist after another, and let's just say that this case is far from straightforward. With all the new developments coming in, things don't look good for Rocky, and unless something miraculous happens, he may be facing some serious consequences. Even though REI was fleeing from Rocky and posed no threat to him at the time, we could clearly see Rocky pull a gun on him in the prosecution's provided video of the incident, which is why it's interesting that at first, there were rumors that REI was amenable to an out-of-court settlement, but he listed such a ridiculous sum that Rocky reportedly laughed him off. According to Media Takeout, Rihanna reportedly refused REI's offer of her fortune in the hopes that she would pay up, saying she wasn't prepared to have that amount associated with her name taken away, even if it meant that Rocky, the father of her child, would be imprisoned for the next 10 years. As a result, the case is now going to trial, and Rocky and his attorneys appear to be unconcerned about the circumstances. Despite Rihanna's lack of direct involvement in the case, the fact that Rocky is her baby daddy places her at the center of it. For instance, during a recent hearing, the judge inquired about Rihanna's marital status with Rocky and the appropriate way to address her during the trial. The lawyer said in a statement that we're ready to go, because it's been something that has been lingering over Rocky, Rihanna, and their families' heads for a while.
Defendant or who is it his girlfriend?
His wife.
How
I think it's his common law wife, Your Honor. They have two children together, so
so I should characterize it as common law wife?
or just wife. It's fine. However you like, but yes, they're not. I mean, they're common law husband and wife,
I'll
they
call
live
her
together.
whatever you want me to call her. You want wife? Okay.
Your Honor, I think if they're not legally married, we prefer that she not be referred to as his wife and that she is just referred to as his significant other or...
She is clearly a significant player in the trial, as evidenced by the fact that they even brought her up and debated how to refer to her. Speaking of the trial, Rocky made a shocking move when he turned down a plea deal offered by the prosecution. According to reports, LA County prosecutors offered him a deal that would have resulted in 180 days in jail and a 7-year suspended sentence with 3 years on. Given that he faces up to 24 years in prison if found guilty, probation seems like a big deal, especially since he's likely to only spend 3 months there. However, it appears that he wants to take a chance in court, which is a pretty big risk. In fact, REI even testified that Rocky didn't just shoot to injure him, he wanted to kill him.
Where on your body was it pointing?
Like towards my stomach, like towards my headish a little. Like everything was happening so fast. So fast. You know what I mean?
And from what you're describing, was it moving?
Yeah, it was moving. He had it up.
Okay, so he didn't just hold it at your stomach. It was kind of...
No, he was looking for a spot to...
Okay.
Like if Elijah wasn't there, I don't know what would happen.
And you said as he was pointing it at you, what did he say?
I'll kill you right now.
And was that in an angry tone?
He did. He was
Fans are now wondering if he has a reason to be so confident because he seems pretty cooked with his testimony, which makes us wonder why he didn't just accept the plea deal that was offered. There is no proof that he did this, but there are rumors that he may have done so because Rihanna allegedly pulled out her checkbook and wrote a fat check to keep her man out of jail. Given that she probably wouldn't want her man in jail for 24 years and raised 2 kids alone, let's say that it's not necessarily crazy to consider fans. Comment as soon as possible. Rocky ought to accept that request immediately because things are now looking bleak for him. Rocky, don't accept a plea deal that would put you in prison like Tory Lanez did. He is living in a fantasy world since he is with Riri. Ninja, be wise and don't fall for their endorsement packages. Rocky will regret accepting that plea agreement because it appears like his friend will be incarcerated for a long time. This is a heated mess, but I'd like to know what you guys think. So please leave a comment below and watch the next video.